Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. I'm your host, as always, Chad. That's me. Um, Early start today. Very little sleep last night. But we have a full Impact review ready for you. I do want to take the little space, this little window of nuggets, if you will, or nuggets of window. Like I said, very little sleep. And tell you about what we've been doing on the website this week. We have, of course, the mid-year report cards for 2018. I've been doing this regularly for a lot of years. I totally bogarted it from Pro Wrestling Illustrated, but mine's more up to date, and I do more talent with mine. So WWE, New Japan, Ring of Honor, and Impact Wrestling are for most accounts pretty represented. I actually think I undermined Ring of Honor a bit, so I'm gonna actually update that. And I forgot to add the predictions, so that's gonna be in there as well. So like expect that. Like if you've already read it, or if you go back and read it sometime tonight, you'll see some changes to it. So thumbs up. That being said, as well, Monday we talked about the Cavaliers getting swept in the NBA Finals. CM Punk's disastrous second fight, although disastrous is still better than his first fight. So proper perspective. Tuesday we talked about Corey Graves being a basic bitch, Enzo Amore back to the ring, as well as a Dominion recap. We had some audio issues Monday and Tuesday, so sorry. It wasn't so much audio as it was internet issues. I should be clear on that. It was internet issues, and we kept losing the calls, so I had to edit these a bit. So the Dominion recap is going to be a bit terse and short. However, tonight on Ohio, guys, I'm sure Swisher and I will be talking about it in length. So if you want to join us, then we will talk about it again in more detail. Wednesday, we reviewed the 5th and 6th NWA TNA weekly pay-per-views. Next weekend, I'm posting a kind of like a double hitter. I'm going to be doing this probably once a month as we get through like about every 8 of these. Updating who's doing what, who's where, who's, super reliable, who's really good for segments, who's really bad for segments. God damn it, Brian Lawler is boring as sin. So that's not great. Last night, Thursday, we talked about the second Cape Crusaders movie, Batman versus the Two-Face. We also talked about Jeff Johns getting a new position in DC Comics. Supergirl recap, and we talked My Hero Academia. All for One is a scary bitch. Then last night as well, we also recorded GameCorp, which I'm actually going to be in the process of converting to a podcast file. So by the time this goes up, it might be done. I doubt it though, but it'll be up it'll be up definitely before this evening. So like, this will probably be up around noon. So maybe around 2, GameCorp will be up for download via podcast. And right now, like if you get done listening to this and you're like, God, this sexy bitch over here with his deep voice and his melodic tones, you want to hear me as fast as possible, and you've been listening to all the other shows, you can go over to twitch.tv/RealNerdCorp and listen to last night's show. It's on the archives. Just go to the videos and click on it and watch it. And thumbs up. We talked about E3. I'm like excited for 3 games. And one I have trepidations because I know how they do the goddamn graphic downplay when it gets ported to the fucking CDs. Like these fucking presentations always look great. Then you see the game and I go, wait, that's not as good. So, plus I have an awesome song that I come up with on the fly, based off of What's This from Nightmare Before Christmas. So if you want to hear me sing that it's off the top of my head. It was unscripted, unrehearsed, all free-flowing. Check it out. But that's all outside of the window. That's all outside of the blogosphere. Let's get into the Impact recap. This is Making an Impact, and I am your host, once again, Chad. Here we go, off into it and running. First and foremost, we get Moose and Eli Drake. They're walking into the House of Hardcore building thing, whatever. Then we get a package of what's to come tonight, whatever. Then we get Grotto with Katrina Lee, and he's all like, "What's up? I'm out here, and I'm gonna do. Oh my God, it's Eddie Edwards. He's got a cane." And Eddie beats the shit out of Grado. He then calls out Tommy Dreamer, saying, I had him, Tommy. I had Sammy Callihan. I was going to end him." And Tommy's like, "You did beat him." He's like, "No, motherfucker. I said kill. Do not change the wording." And Tommy's like, "Come on, Eddie, that's not okay." And then he has like a little bit of a breakdown. Then Eddie's like, "You know what? Fuck your face." And he hits Tommy Dreamer in the face with a kendo stick. And then later on, Tommy's like, "I'm done." And then Scott D'Amore's like, "Wait, no, don't go, Tommy. Stop. Please, don't go." He wasn't nearly as melancholy as I was, but it's funny when you kind of crack jokes, because that's how comedy works. Crack jokes. So Dreamer ends up leaving, telling D'Amore to check his boy. Definitely going to be getting some Eddie versus Dreamer action at Slammiversary, which I'm fine with because we're getting some Callihan and Pentagon Jr. action at Slammiversary as well. Ooh. Very much okay with that. We then get hyping up the Tessa Blanchard, Kiera Hogan no DQ match, Drake Moose, Seidel Cage. I will say this, kind of surprising what ended up being the best part of this show in terms of the in-ring stuff, but we'll get to that. Rebel makes her return against Taya Valkyrie. Taya Valkyrie ate her alive, so long, Rebel. Rebel has been looking impressive since her first initial run with the company. She's done a few bits on, I think she's done like one Twitch stream, and I think she's done one of the one-night onlys. And she's looked phenomenal in both. I mean, not phenomenal, but like pretty good. I don't want to like overhype her, but I also don't want to disparage her. She's improved a lot. And for a woman who's 38 and only been in the business for a handful of years, I'm very impressed with the strides she's taken to get better. So I'm glad they're still bringing her back around because she has a unique talent set I think could be utilized. Then we get a post-match interview. Taya Valkyrie's like, "Yum, yum, eat 'em up. I'm so glad Madison Rayne is back." She makes a bitch face. It's a great bitch face. Taya Valkyrie has amazing facial features. Like, we talk about certain guys in this business. Like, Eli has great facial features. Taya has great facial features. Caprice Coleman has fantastic facial features. They just have this way of exuding exactly what they want to kind of point out. I would say Cody has the same thing, but Cody only ever does swarmy or stuck up or dick. So I don't know. He stays in the same ballpark. We then get a Global Wrestling Network flashback moment of the week. Taya wants to beat up Madison Rayne. I forgot to mention that. Joe, Styles, and Daniels, a triple threat match from Unbreakable 2005, which I believe was in September. So, good stuff there. It's often referred to as the Unbreakable three-way, but here's the kicker. I don't even think it's the best match of 2005 in TNA. I think that's a bit of AJ Styles at Lockdown. Fight me. Mackenzie Mitchell's backstage. She's staying with the company, folks. She is not fired. It should be noted, though, that I forget her name. Her last name's a Tout, which I think is a fantastic name. She will be taking over backstage interview responsibilities in Canada. So when they go up to the Great White North, Tout will be taking over duties, while on stateside, Alicia Tout. While on stateside, it's going to be Mackenzie Mitchell. However, I think they're going to do a lot more dual roles than people realize. I would imagine Impact wanted to bring in a Tout, not just for her name value, but also she runs a blog called a music blog, or Ambi, and it's actually very successful. She's interviewed a lot of big names, everywhere from 21 Pilots all the way to Pentagon and somewhere how and way why in between. Like, there's a lot of names. You're like, wait, I would not expect all these people to be on the same interview blog, but all right. So I would imagine that she's going to do stuff like that for Impact, one would imagine, because they're trying to create more digital content that will attract eyes. And if you can guarantee a fucking interview with somebody like 21 Pilots or, who else is popular? Good Charlotte? No. I'm so out of the loop. If she could get somebody like the Menzingers or Sorority Noise or someone else like that from that punk vibe, that would be cool. Plus, she also has like a bunch of interviews with Lucha Underground, which would be a cool kind of thing to add to the website as well. Assuming that they would sign up on that. So, I'm excited for both of these ladies. Both of these ladies are so pretty. So, like, whoever's on TV, I have no issue because they're both equally talented and equally, well, yeah. Anywho, so we go to Mackenzie, and she's talking about she's talking with Matt Sedell about Brian Cage, and he talks a promo, talks about inner strength, third eye, yada, yada, yada. Then we get a creepy cam with OVE and Sami Callihan, and Sami Callihan's eyes all kinds of fucked up. Like, I hate to go back to that reference, but seriously, this is what All For One looks like without the goddamn mask. Like, I'm pretty sure that he's Sami Callihan at this point. Like, it's all fucked up. We then get a, actually, he says that Jake Christ will fight Phantasma. He also calls Jake Christ his best friend. I'm sure Dave felt real fucking good about himself when he got basically side-saddled like that. Sorry, Dave. Then Fallah Bahh and Cam took on the Cult of Lee. This was a pretty short match. Cult of Lee got the win. Cam goes to check on Bahh, and Cult of Lee hit a double boot, and I think they pinned Bahh. So that tag team was short-lived. So long, farewell, Avidas, and then goodbye. We then get a recap of the stuff between Moose and Eli Drake. Then we go to LAX's lair. Because who doesn't want a lair? Santana, Ortiz, The King, and Diamante are hanging out. King announces that they will get a tag title shot next week against Z&E at St. River and DJZ, the Impact Tag Team Champions. King offers drinks to the guys. Then one to Diamante, who isn't sure, but she eventually takes it because she's a team player. She doesn't want to rock the boat. Don't rock the boat, baby. The guys then take their drinks and make some faces, and she insults them by calling them lightweights, and then they head off. And King kind of has a Pacino moment. He's like, "The world is mine." Okay, that's cool. Whatever. It's your thing. Then we get Moose versus Eli Drake. It's a number one contender match. Moose gets the win. It was a fine and dandy match. It wasn't anything, match of the year or to write home about. Right now, Eli Drake is in the final moments of his contract. They did sign an extension through Slammiversary. However, I think that's more to ensure that he's going to be sticking around, at least for the show. So here's my thought process. They obviously agreed to the money he wanted because he's coming back for Slammiversary at least. So this isn't a money thing. I think they convinced him you're not, you wouldn't start anywhere else until X date, so just come and do Slammiversary for us and then the tapings. But I have a strong feeling that Eli Drake might be on his way to NXT, so that's his prerogative. I'm not going to sit here and ever shit on anyone's decision. If he wants to, if my thought is true, and I hope it's not, and I hope I'm wrong. But if he does end up signing with NXT, I just want him to realize, look at the guys around you. Like, most of these guys don't succeed to the level that you did here. Like, look at Lashley. Holy fuck, is there a bigger joke in wrestling right now than Lashley? EC3's not even on the goddamn card for this weekend. Think about that. Bobby Roode is some mid-card nobody. Like AJ Styles is WWE champion, but he's in one of the most awful WWE title runs I've ever seen for someone of his talent level. Like, Jesus Christ, he hasn't had one good match since the March. I mean, come on. Like we are aware. There we go. That this company does not have a fucking clue what they're doing anymore. Is it really worth it? Don't you want to be part of the Renaissance? Or do you want to just be another cog in the machine? That's up to you, man. I don't want to sit here and disparage him because I actually do like Eli. And to be fair, I want to be very honest here. I do watch Eli. I do watch EC3 segments, and I do watch AJ Styles segments. So, and I was going to watch Lashley segments until I realized how bad those were. So if Eli Drake does go to NXT, I will watch his shit. I don't want to sit here and lie to anyone. He's very talented, and hopefully they would let him do things that popped, you know. Speaking of popped, Kiera Hogan and Tessa Blanchard, no DQ match. By the way, Moose is going to the main event Slamversary. Just want to point that out. He's taking on Austin Aries. Kiera Hogan and Tessa Blanchard had a really good no DQ match. I like this match a fucking lot. This was really good. Best match of the night by far. I also want to point out that I get similar vibes with these two women, with Kiera and Tessa, as I did with Sarita and cheerleader Melissa, who is known as Alyssa Flash, as well as what the hell was her name? It was Awesome Kong's handler, Rocket. No, that was Kurt Angle's long-legged beauty. Raisha Shaheed. There you go. That's what it was. So Flash and or cheerleader Melissa and Sarita were really fundamental in that time period of Impact knockout championships and stuff. And I get the same kind of vibe from Blanchard and Kiera. Like that could be like what. Now I don't want to be that guy. So like please keep in mind, I mean within proper context. Like I'm not saying it's going to be revolutionary, but it could be in the same context as like a John Cena, Randy Orton, where like they came in at the same time, very different, and are locked in like an immortal struggle for brand supremacy. I don't expect them to main event of 80,000 seat arena, but like these two could have really good storylines. We then get more vignettes of the X and stuff like that, and we see stuff from yesteryear, not yesteryear, but yesterday, last week's or so. Jake Chris then takes on El Hijo del Fantasma. That doesn't really last too long as Sami Callihan comes running out and he's all like, "What's up?" And he just beats the fuck out of people. Pentagon comes down, takes a standoff. Sami Callihan does thumbs up, thumbs down, and Pentagon's all like zero, medio. And Pentagon had a good week as well because that motherfucker just won Aztec, or whatever the fuck it was called, Aztec Warfare. Poor Tommy Dreamer, man. He got hit in the face with a cane this week, and then he went into a bunch of attacks this week. Like, Dreamer's having a rough week. And I understand that both those are filmed significantly far apart. I'm just saying it's kind of funny. I'm just saying. Very disappointing main event match. Matt Sydal versus Brian Cage. Brian Cage was destroying Sydal. Sydal had next to no offense. Eventually, though, Jimmy Jacobs and Congo Kong come out. They're able to distract Cage for 10 seconds on the ringside floor. What happens when you have 10 seconds on the ringside floor? People at home. No, you don't get free pancakes. That was terrible. You get a count-out victory, and that's what Matt Sydal did. He got a count-out victory on Brian Cage, and he retains the belt, and Cage are like, what? I thought it was a nice little build to a future feud involving these four. Jimmy Jacobs and Matt Sydal, that's a pairing I can get behind. Yes, please. Then, in the final segment of the night, we see Sanjay Dutt running over, and he's all like, Petey, what'd you do? And Ba's all like, Ba? Because he's unconscious, and that's how Ba sleeps. He doesn't do the Z's, he goes Ba. And Petey's like, I didn't do it. Sanjay's like, motherfucker, you totally did it. You got the fucking card in your hand. And Petey's like, I didn't do it. And Sanjay's like, oh, get out of earshot. And he's like, what? Then a cop comes by, handcuffs Petey. And I need to emphasize this. I understand what they're trying to do, but I also need to point out what they did do. They were trying to make it seem like Petey was taken into another branch of the arena. But really all that they did was like pull them down in front of where they were, like 10 feet. Like in reality, everyone who was there, including, by the way, did you all see Sugar Dunkerton? I did. And all you had to do was look at like 10 feet down the way, and you would have seen everything that was going on. I don't mean to laugh. It's not something that I'm overly critical of. I'm not sitting there going, oh, in WWE. No, like, it's fine. Like, I actually don't have an issue with it. I just kind of think it's comical. I think it's a little funny. But it was the funniest, and this stops being funny, because Petey ends up pulling away from this giant cop guard person, and then the dude just takes out a fucking nightstick and beats the dude like he's just stole something, man. Like a redheaded stepchild, any other cliche. Like the Patriots versus the Browns. In this case, Petey Williams is the Browns. And just wallops on Petey until he's on the ground coughing, and then he takes off his little fucking shirt, and you see like his goddamn back is just tattooed to shit. And you're like, whoa, this is a motherfucker right here. And then he turns around and so coldly goes, you you should probably call the police. And just walks away. And I'm like, oh, 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 that was awesome. So the wrestler in question, for those of you who don't know, is Kevin Cross. Although he'll be going by the name Killer Cross here. Kevin Cross was actually one of the big, young, up-and-coming guys that Jeff Jarrett pulled in for the original Global Force Wrestling Amped tapings. It was really built around, in terms of the young talent, it was built around the Bollywood boys, who are now Herv and Garv Shira, I think, or whatever their names are for Jinder Mahal. Killer Cross, he actually had a few big matches with guys like Bobby Roode and I think Nick Aldis. Congo Kong and I forget the other name. He's this little tiny dude. He's not very charismatic and he's not very big, but he's small. So seeing him come back into the fold, so to speak, was awesome. He's been in AAA for a while. He just recently debuted a new stable, maybe 2 months ago, I think, with Juventud Guerrera, who's the focal point, and Teddy Hart. So that's kind of a thing. I'm looking forward to seeing where this goes, personally. I think Killer Cross is really fucking fantastic. He's got some size to him. He's got a presence about him. He's got killer tattoos, no pun intended. Plus, he has a genuine athletic background. I'm pretty sure if you put CM Punk and Killer Cross in a UFC ring, Killer Cross would probably be a victory within 2 rounds. Just saying. So, like, he does have some MMA background. He does have some striking ability. He's very crisp, very, very, very slick with his movement. I think this was a very good signing. So I'm thumbs up. I love it. I love the reveal. Great twist. Great fucking twist. I'm all for it. So that's all I got for this week's show. Again, be sure to check out the website, realnerdcorp.com, RealNerdcorp.com. Links to the podcasts are down below. Usually I post the link to download it. I think this week I'm going to post the link to the website because, well, I guess I could do it either way because I always post the iTunes link independently. And you have to go to the iTunes account and download it through their store because they're fucking stupid like that. But you can just download the other podcasts by holding down the button. It'll pop up like, do you want to download the show? Yes. And then you can download it. So I don't know which one I'm going to do. But the links to the podcast will be down below in some form or another, as well as the mid-year report card and anything else that I think is pertinent that you guys should check out. So thanks for listening, folks. Thanks for tuning in. We'll be back tonight around 11 on twitch.tv/RealNerdCorp for another edition of the Ohio Guys podcast. So be sure to check it out. And if you want to be phonetically correct about how to pronounce it, it's the Guys podcast. Because we're goofy like that, motherfuckers. With that being said, I've been Chad. This has been Making an Impact, and we will see you soon. Remember to watch more wrestling.